Hello, and welcome to Yoga with Yo Gabriella. My goal is to enhance the quality of your experiences and your energy so that you can embody your essence, to understand the language of your body, and to realign the posture of your heart so you can fully indulge with the richness of life. So whether you're new or you're coming back, I'm so blessed to have you part of this tribe, to share this experience with you, and I'm truly honored that you're here. So whenever you're ready, grab your mat and let's get started. I'm sure if you're here, you're something like me where you tend to round in the shoulders, have a rounded back. And I'm here to tell you today that we are going to open up the chest and activate those back muscles. So if you have a block, I would definitely recommend getting a block. You can use books or something that's going to be a little bit sturdy to help with posture, and a strap. So if you don't have a strap, you can use a towel, you can use a t-shirt, maybe one that's a t-shirt that you don't really care about, just something that you can kind of tug on and pull on and kind of stretch open the shoulders. So that is all that you will be needing today. This will be a quick, simple flow. So whenever you're ready, grab your props and let's begin. All right, so we're gonna first get started in a cross-legged seated position. On our inhale, hands are gonna come up overhead. And exhale, we're gonna interlace our hands behind the head, press the head into the hands, and the hands relatively pressed back. Elbows are open up nice and wide. I want you to bring attention to your ribs. Are you flaring your chest up, or can you keep your ribs gently tucked down? You should feel a good stretch in the chest, the arms. Take a deep breath in, lift your gaze up, and exhale, start to round the back, bring the elbows towards the shin. You should feel a good stretch on the back of the body. Inhale, slowly lifting up. Open the elbows wide. See if you can slightly be mindful with your movement. Exhale. So just moving slow and moving intentional. Inhale up. You're going to do this 2 more times. See if you can feel the connection of the muscles going down your spine. Do one more. Notice the contraction of your core as you bring those elbows down. Bring the navel in towards the heart space. And lift yourself back up. Okay. Maybe get out any shoulder circles, any clinks or crinks in the neck. So we're just gonna get right into it in the sense that we're gonna start with our core. So we're gonna either do a high plank where your hands are stacked underneath your shoulders, your fingers are spread nice and wide. Your knees can be extended a little further back, or you can completely lift the legs or the knees off the mat. You wanna press into the balls of your feet. You'll feel the activation of the heels. And you don't want to kind of push the floor away from you. You don't want to also sink down into your hips, but you're feeling a good energetic thread going from the crown of your head, reaching forward. You're trying to press a button with the top of your head, and also all the way through your heels, like your heels are trying to tap the wall behind you. You'll notice the engagement of the core. So the core is not just the abdominal, it's also the back. And so we want to make sure that we're not bloating our belly out, but that more so if we think of our belly button, we're trying to squeeze everything towards that belly button area. The ribs are not flared out one way or another. The glutes are activated, the quads are activated. You might be shaking. We're gonna hold here for another few more seconds. You'll notice the pelvic floor muscles starting to heat up if you're doing this properly. Take 2 more deep breaths in and exhale. And slowly you can come back into your knee. You can release your hands if you are on your elbows. So the reason why I start with the core is so that we make sure when we're doing the movements with our hands that we're activating the core so our ribs are not flaring out. We're going to open up the shoulders, so you can grab your block. And you can do this either kneeling down, you're going to place the block in between your legs, or you can do this standing up. So I'm going to show you from the side. The feet are going to be hip distance apart. So you can put the block, the book, whatever prop you have, right just above the knee. And we're going to squeeze the glutes, so it's kind of like we're trying to press or squeeze the block forward. This will kind of help stabilize the hips, activating the outside of our glutes. The core is engaged, so the lower pelvic floor muscles, the lower abdominals. And then we're going to grab our strap. And you can do whatever distance. Maybe you're really far, your chest is really tight, so your stance is a lot wider. But you're gonna kind of pull on the strap. This will activate the back muscles and also the traps, so the back of the arm. We're gonna hold here, and then on our inhale, we're slowly going to start to lift the arms up. If you notice that your ribs start to flare and you start to arch in the back, especially as you start to come up, then I want you to tuck the pelvis more, hold where you notice the ribs start to flare, and then contract the abs more, and slowly start to lift all the way up. You'll notice activation of the back muscles, the lats, and then see how far you can go again, making sure that we're not arching the back, or even you can squeeze the glutes and the ribs can still flare. So the ribs are tucked so that it's in alignment with the hips. Squeezing the shoulder blades down and back. See how far you can draw the strap. And as you start to go backwards, I want you to go to an extent where you feel the stretch. Take a deep breath in, hold here, and exhale. And then you can slowly lower your arms, the strap, about maybe another ½ an inch or an inch. Take another deep breath in. As you hold here, you'll notice the chest slowly start to open up. Lower it just a little bit more, again squeezing those shoulder blades down and back. And all the way down, you can release the strap behind you. Then we're going to do the same thing but the opposite way. So again, squeezing the glutes, slowly lift the arms up, squeezing those shoulder blades down and back. And you might not even be able to extend your arms all the way back. Just go to whatever height or depth that feels comfortable for you. Again, it's not what the pose looks like, it's about what the pose feels like. So the reason why we're opening up the chest first is because if the chest is super tight, then we won't even be able to activate the back muscles as much as we possibly could. Sometimes what prevents us from activating those back muscles is the tightness of our chest. So here we're expanding our full range of mobility within the shoulders, the chest. And also make sure that you're not rounding the back to lift the arms up. But again, you're nice and tall. Your presence is known, so you're reaching from the top of your crown, from the top of your head. But I like to say it's kind of like you're balancing a book on your head, and then slowly you can draw the straps down. You should feel a good openness. And then we're just gonna activate the obliques a little bit. So go ahead and lift the straps up above the head and laterally bend over towards the left, root down through your right leg. So right leg is rooted, you're leaning over towards the left. Again, you might be up here, making sure that we're not collapsing down, but your presence is known, you're nice and erect. You're reaching through all of your limbs. Come back up. And exhale, press into the left leg and laterally bend over towards the right. Notice the shifts that might happen in your hips. So if you notice a lot of shifts happening, maybe you're going too far and your body's compensating. So you're kind of realigning the body and reteaching what muscles to activate itself. And then go ahead, lean over towards the left. We're gonna just draw a big circle. So start to hinge from the hip, leaning forward, rounding towards the front, lean over towards the right, and then lift that left arm up so you're laterally bending towards the right and coming back up. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Again, engage that core, lean your way forward. See if you can remain stable in the hips so the hips do not move, and you'll notice a really big activation within the glutes as well. So it goes to show how connected the whole entire body is. Maybe you even notice attention to your feet, your ankles. Coming back up, and then go the opposite way, leaning over towards the right. And notice the little shifts that you feel going on. And if you wobble, that's okay. I encourage you to move slow. It's like when you do something for the first time. You're just learning, you're observing. The muscles are reconnecting. It's creating new neural connections within the body. Again, pay attention to your ribs. Are they flaring out? And inhale back up towards center. And you can go ahead, release the strap, release the block, and we're gonna come down onto our backs. On our bellies. So there's 2 different options. You can use the blocks here as weights. You can use them as a guidance as to where you're lifting your hands up. You're gonna keep them right about the mat should be in the middle of the block, put it that way. Your hands are gonna come in between the blocks. You're gonna press on the top of your feet. So this will kind of activate the glutes, stabilize the back. We're gonna twist the thumbs to face up towards the ceiling. And here you might even already notice an activation within the shoulder blades. Keep that rib tucked. And then go ahead, we're gonna lift that right hand up. See if you can reach it up above the block, slide it over the block, and bring it down on the outside of the right block. We're gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. So lift that left hand up, slide it all the way on top of the block, all the way to the outside. Maybe you do it continuously one at a time, or maybe you do it both at the same time. Lifting the hands up and drawing them inside of the blocks. When you do this, see if you can retract the shoulder blades down and back away from the ears. This might even be hard for you, so maybe you're just doing eyes. So maybe you don't necessarily lift them up very high or far up, but maybe you're just doing little pulses. If that's too much for you, you can open your hands into a T position. Your chin is on the ground or the mat. Squeeze the shoulder blades down and back. And then once you have that position, you can start to press on the top of your hands to squeeze the back together. So take a variation that feels pretty comfortable for you. If you are still seeking more of a challenge, you can instead use the blocks for a little bit of weight. I slide back a little. So instead, again, you're squeezing the shoulder blades down and back, and then lift the blocks off the mat. Open up your hands and place them back down. So now you're in a Y position. Squeeze those shoulder blades down and back, pressing to the tops of the feet. Engage that core. The lats will be activated. Lift the blocks up and bring them back towards center. So whichever variation you choose, do what feels comfortable for your body. Do which one is going to start to build that strength and proper alignment. Take a deep breath in. We're going to do about 3 more. It's quality over quantity. So I'd rather have you do it slow and with good form than to rush through it and have those reps being made. Good. You can release the blocks. Maybe you'll notice an activation on that posterior back. Maybe it feels sore, maybe it feels good. And we're going to do one more stretch. We're going to open up the hands into a T position. The right hand is going to come underneath the shoulder so the elbow is tucked back and in towards the body. The left ear is going to come down onto the mat. You're going to bend that right leg, lift the right knee off of the mat, and then press into your right hand to roll onto your left side. And the right foot can come behind that left thigh. Your right knee can point up towards the ceiling. If that is way too much for you, you can put a block behind your right foot, or you can extend your right leg on top of your left. Whatever is going to feel comfortable for you, just play around. And you should feel a good stretch on the left chest, the left shoulder, maybe even the right hip. Breathing fully in from the belly. And then slowly you can roll back onto your stomachs. Switch sides so the right arm comes out. Left hand comes underneath the left shoulder, elbow in towards the body. Right ear comes down. Bend that left leg, lift the left knee, and roll onto your right side. You might hear some snap, crackle, pops in the spine, the back, maybe even the hips. And this is all good. It's realigning the body, it's realigning the back. So do whatever, as long as it feels comfortable for you. And our breath anchors in the new sensations, the new neuromuscular connection. If you cannot breathe fully, then maybe you've gone too far. So adjust your body in the way that it wants to be adjusted. Take one more deep breath in and exhale out. Slowly you can start to roll back onto your bellies. Bring the right hand in. And then we're going to roll onto our backs. And we're going to place the block. We're going to come into kind of like a fish pose. So the block is going to go right up around where the end of your ribs meet, so the lowest part of your ribs. If you need it up higher, you can. We're going to go ahead and place that on our backs. Your knees can be bent, or you can extend them out in front of you. And then allow your head to hang heavy if you want. if you need to adjust the block, if you want to put it higher, if you want to utilize both blocks, if it's too much for your neck, you can always place the other block underneath your neck. So whatever's going to feel good for you, but you should definitely feel a good openness in the chest. So if you can tuck and roll the shoulders down and back. It might feel a little uncomfortable at first, especially if you have a really rounded back, but with time it will definitely learn and teach your body how to open it up. You're going to be here for another deep breath. You might feel tingles in the fingers. Probably just means that there's a pinched nerve. And you can either stay here or you can slowly start to tuck the chin. Lift your way up. You can release the block. Maybe you roll over onto your side. And then come into our final resting pose, Shavasana, where we're just here to allow the movement to integrate itself. We allow the body to feel what it feels like to have this new alignment. And you can either stay here as long as you would like. Maybe it's more time, or maybe you can stay here as long as you would like, whether it's more time than what I provide. I just feel the power of just being here in the present moment for 1 minute or so. You can start to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Maybe you take a deep stretch. And whenever your body will allow, you can slowly roll over onto either side and gently make your way up to a cross-legged seated position. Take a moment to just feel the openness in your body, to feel what it feels like just to take 15 minutes for yourself today. How would that change and impact your body and your posture if you were to do this consistently? Yeah. Your hands can come together in prayer pose in front of your heart, taking a moment to honor yourself. Honor your journey, where you're at, where you're going, where you've been. And most importantly, may you stand in your light and cherish it. Malama Pono. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope to see you soon. I'm truly so grateful to have shared this experience with you. If you are looking to continue feeling expansive, experiencing salvation with a rich quality of life, then please support by subscribing and